Persik means peach in English, and there's a cat named Persik who's doing, well, just peachy now. His human Larysa was visiting family in Arkansas when war broke out in Ukraine, her home country. Family taking care of Persik got him all the way to Poland, and then he made it to America, thanks to the Humane Society International and Kelly Donithan, who brought him here. She is the Director of Animal Disaster Response and our special guest today. Kelly, welcome to Spirit 105.3. I had no idea there even was a Humane Society International. What kind of work do you do on the daily?
Well, right now it's quite busy for sure.
Yeah.
So our teams are constantly monitoring and addressing different catastrophes around the world. You know, I spend a lot of the time looking at what potential responses we have and how we can best respond in a way that serves both people and animals being affected. But we also do a lot of work to try to prepare communities and integrate mitigation strategies to try to lessen the impact of hazards that we know are going to be coming in our regularly, yearly presence, like storms and floods and droughts.
So how did you find Persik the cat, the Ukrainian cat? How did that happen?
Yeah. So, when the war broke out, a lot of Facebook groups were created to try to help people navigate evacuations with their animals, as well as support for shelters or other groups who may have animals in their care and were either trying to evacuate or unable to. And so came across a post of a woman who was in the U.S., Ukrainian, but her cat was actually still in Ukraine. And at the time, actually, when we first saw the post, Persik had gotten out of Ukraine. It took a number of people, many of whom she didn't know, but had stepped in to help via this Facebook group. And so at the time, the cat was being cared for by a woman she had met online in Warsaw, in Poland. But that situation was only temporary, and she really needed to see if anybody was able to get him to her in the U.S.
Let me ask you this. You had the blessing, the privilege of reuniting Persik and Larysa. What was it like to be a part of that?
It was wonderful. I mean, I have, of course, my own animals, and I could never imagine being separated or, not knowing if I was going to get brought back to them. So we even did some Zoom calls with Larysa so she could see Persik and that he was doing fine and well. And, he was a little nervous when we first got him, but he really was a great cat and came around and was quite the resilient traveler. But yeah, seeing Larysa come up in the airport, and she was just so desperate to see him and be able to know that he was safe. So I think there's not really much else that is a better feeling than that.
Oh.
Was Persik able to get himself to show some emotion when he saw Larysa, or did he pull the typical cat, hey, how's it going thing?
It's funny. He definitely is a bit of a typical cat. I try to warn people, cats have their own ways of, addressing it. But he popped his head right out of the crate and was looking around, and I think he was just kind of ready to be done with the travel. So Larysa sent some pictures and videos after they got home, and he was right back to playing and being just a little spitfire. So I think that was what she needed to see to know that he was happy to be there.
How did Larysa react when she first saw Persik?
I think she just was grinning ear to ear and just so grateful, and she just wanted to scoop him up right away. And I was like, well, let's just make sure, because I don't want him to get scared and take off and stuff. But yeah, she had a new crate for him already. She was just so prepared and ready to take him home. So it was a very joyous, happy moment.
Oh, that's so awesome. Hey, Kelly, how important are animals in our lives, especially in the times we're living in right now? How important is that bond?
I mean, for a lot of people, especially, that bond is as strong as family. There's those tangible, positive effects many of us get. I'm sitting here right now just petting one of my dogs who's asleep next to me. I think that scientifically we've seen and been proven that helps relieve stress and bring comfort. And there's so many positive effects of just having that physical connection with animals. But that bond, as we've seen in cases of war and disaster or other crises, it's so critical to try to allow people to stay connected with their animals. Research that's been done after situations like the nuclear disaster in Japan, that people recovered better from symptoms of PTSD who were able to be kept connected with their animals versus people who either didn't have animals or weren't able to be connected. So I think they bring a lot of stability for a lot of the children. It gives them also consistency, something, and distraction, which can be really important during these times. And you're probably asking a slightly biased person because my animals are my life, so that bond to me is everything. But I see it every day with people all over the world, so I know it's true.
Oh, that's just wonderful. Kelly Donithan, Director of Animal Disaster Response with Humane Society International, thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you.